For the first time since 2001, the Seattle Mariners are going to the ALCS. Colby, hit it.
You are Locked On Mariners, your daily Seattle Mariners podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Ahoy, sailors. It is Friday, October 10th, 2025. Well, it's probably Saturday at this point, but whatever. It's Friday at the time of this recording. This is Titan Gonzalez and Colby Patnode for the best episode of the Locked On Mariners podcast we've done yet. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Download the app today. And as always, if you want to hear from me and Colby even more and help support the show, we have a Patreon called Control the Zone, where we talk Mariners, Seahawks, all that good stuff. For more information, go to patreon.com/Control the Zone, link in the description. Colby, it's finally happened. Humpy finally won the salmon run. Let's go, baby. Hell yeah.
Welcome to Locked On Humpy.
That's right. Huh? Let's go, night. Humpy. That's right.
At night.
That's right. At night.
Would it kill the Mariners to play an elimination game at home that they finish in 9 innings? Or even like maybe 10 or 11? No. 33 innings in the last 2 elimination games.
That's 33 innings.
Grand total of 6 runs scored by both teams combined.
Yeah.
All 3 technically. So
yeah,
of course it was going to be like this. Of course. It was going to be like this.
Of course. No, what did I say on yesterday's show?
No,
I was like,
point at Ty, he's so smart.
Hold on. If the Tigers were going to win, they were going to win like 4-0, right? Yeah. If the Mariners were going to win, it was going to be like in the 13th inning. And didn't I literally say like Leo Rivas was going to do something?
I don't know. Who cares? Technically, he didn't do anything in the 13th inning, but
I mean, sure.
That's not really the point.
Leo Rivas still a big part of this game, though, on his birthday.
I believe we said either the Mariners were going to win in some crazy way or they were just going to like jump Scooble randomly and put up 6 runs in 3 innings. And what do you know? It was definitely the former because Scooble was incredible tonight.
Scooble was incredible. I mean, literally a historic playoff performance.
Good Lord, man. That guy is nuts.
Nuts. And you overcame him twice in the span of
just say it, Ty.
5 days.
You beat him twice.
Sure.
You beat him twice. You beat him 4 times this year.
I mean, they didn't really beat him today.
Who won the game? Who started the game, Ty?
Sure.
Scooble. Sure. Who won the game, Ty? Not Scooble. Not his team.
Not Scooble. So,
there you go. They beat him 4 times, including twice in the last 6 days or whatever, 5 days, however long it's been. I've honestly, is today Saturday? I don't know. I have lost track of days.
No, I've lost track of everything. The last hour has been a blur. I've gotten so many texts and so many phone calls, and I've cried multiple times. As you can tell, there's going to be no structure to the show. I'm just going to warn you now. There's no structure for the show whatsoever.
Look at the show sheet. Does it have bullet points?
You're pointing to the wrong side, which is perfect.
No, I'm not.
That's a perfect encapsulation of what's going on.
Not on my
in this show.
Not as
on yours. That's you're pointing to the right. Well,
spot.
You're pointing to me. You're pointing to me on my
okay.
on my.
Well, then look at the bullet points. There's nothing.
That is a perfect encapsulation of this show, though. For sure. So tomorrow we will try and collect ourselves and do some form of an ALCS preview. I can't even believe that we're actually going to be talking about an ALCS though after the way that game went. I mean, they had so many opportunities to end that game earlier. And frankly, with the way Scooble was throwing, and I know they had his pitch count in a pretty rough spot there for him. But I didn't think that AJ Hinch was going to take him out at sub 100 pitches. That was crazy. But when Kerry Carpenter hit that home run, I kind of felt like it was over. I kind of felt like we were done. But then we get the Leo Rivas heroics. We got Mitch Garver heroics. We got Leo Rivas heroics in this game. Some of your biggest names didn't do anything in this one. But honestly though, it's kind of the quintessential Mariners win. If they were going to win this game, like we said yesterday, it was going to be weird. It wasn't going to make sense. And yeah, this game doesn't make any sense. It's the longest winner take all game in playoff history. And of course the Mariners played in it.
Yeah. It is the tied for the second longest game in postseason history. Who played the longest game in postseason history? Oh, what do you know? It's the Seattle Mariners as well.
Yeah.
Can't be normal. Like,
I'm going to be at the Rogers Center for 27 innings on Sunday, aren't I?
I mean,
it's going to be 3 a.m. and I'm going to still be there at the stadium watching baseball.
Part of me wants to say I hope so you have to experience it, but the other part of me is like, how do you win game 2 and 3 and 4 if you like? I don't know. We don't even know who's going to start. Probably Castillo, but we don't even like.
We have no
Castillo
clue.
pitched tonight. Logan pitched tonight. Like,
yeah,
I don't.
Bryce is going to be on 3 days rest.
Yeah, it's like we'll probably. I mean, Kirby only threw 66, so like he might be available, right, on 1 day's rest. Like,
we don't know if Brian Wu's going to even be on the roster,
right?
Like,
so we'll talk about all of that, I'm sure, either later today, or maybe we might have to do an extra special episode tomorrow. But like, yeah, we'll get to that. But like, man, this game, so many heroes. None of them were you're like superstars. Like Cal Raleigh was not the hero tonight. He did not have a good game at the plate. Behind the plate, he was pretty good.
Yeah, he was fantastic behind the plate.
Julio did not have a good night. He has not had a good at bat since he had the game-winning double
since game two.
Yeah. He was basically, Naylor was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. A couple hits sprinkled here and there. I mean, Rivas, of course, the big game time RBI single, and everybody else. Like, I think Randy reached a couple times, but he got hit twice. Like, it's not like he did anything super special in this one. JP had a couple
he hit into that inning double play. Like, a lot of your big names did not come through in some big spots.
Absolutely not.
And in some other ways, particularly on the pitching side, some of your big names came through in huge, massive spots. I mean, this win, like, has to be completely, totally attributed to the Mariners pitching staff across the board.
Yes. I thought, I don't know if this is where we're doing the whimsy or the ironic or whatever segment of our show, but I thought it was pretty interesting that we had the same situation pop up 3 times in this series.
Yeah.
Carpenter coming up in the first game, they let Kirby pitch to him. Home run, you lose that game largely because of that. Second game, they bring in Spire. Spire gets Carpenter out, and we're like, oh, see, that's how you do it. So this game, they bring Spire out to face Carpenter, and Carpenter hits a home run off of him. So yet every however you wanted to say, Dan mismanaged that. You had all 3 variations of it today, or in this series, in a 6-game stretch. Like,
by the way, I gotta give props to Dan Wilson specifically.
Yes,
for going Rivas against Holton. That is quite the decision. And it worked out.
It points to the obvious fact, like the Mariners really need another right-handed bat.
Mitch Garver can't be like the guy.
No, he can't be the right-handed bat. Like, it just, no. But Rivas came up. He also had a couple other, pretty good at bats. He saw a lot of he did what Leo Rivas does. He sees a lot of pitches. He fouls off, not necessarily a great bet to get a base hit, but he's probably going to make some contact. He can do things on the bases. Like, it was just kind of a weird night. I thought Dan Wilson outmanaged AJ Hinch tonight. I'm just going to say, I think for the most part, he did. We know what's crazy about AJ Hinch's night tonight? Didn't use a single reserve.
Crazy. Yeah.
All 9 guys who started the game finished the game. And we talked about this way back at the start of the series. Like, AJ Hinch's big advantage is that he can put you in a bad spot to use his platoons, and he can kind of manipulate you into taking out your a better pitcher than you would use. And he didn't do it tonight. I mean, granted, there weren't a ton of opportunities, but I thought part of that was because Dan kind of looked 2 steps ahead and was like, okay, let's do this. Let's tweak this right here. Let's go to Canzone. So they bring in the lefty, and then we'll just take Canzone out. Again, it'd be great if they had like Ramon Laureano instead of having to trust Leo Rivas in that spot, but it is what it is. And so, I thought Dan actually managed a really good game. There really wasn't anything that he did that I really hated, with the exception of the bunt, of course. But that game is emotionally draining as somebody who sat through the 18-inning game and lost and had to watch a loss. Like, sitting through 15 innings and winning, that feels incredible. Like, it's like awesome.
Yeah.
But this game was just nuts, and there were so many points where you're like,
nuts.
They're gonna win, they're gonna lose, like just back and forth. And so many where you're just like throwing like the remote down on the ground, like screw these guys. And then you're coming back like, oh, runner on second. No, but they have to, like, this game's over. And
I can't tell you how many times I turned the TV off and then walked back over. Like by the time, I figured the commercial break would be done and turned it back on and then paced around downstairs here and went on my computer here, went on my phone.
I only saw Logan Gilbert face one hitter because I was just like, I can't watch this anymore. I saw him strike out Colt Keith. I think I saw Gilbert face.
I sat in so many different spots. I flipped my hat inside out, wore my rally hat. Like I did, I all the stops for this one.
I left my house and came down to the studio.
Yeah.
At the top of the 8th, after Rivas tied it. And I was like, okay, well, I mean, probably not going to go longer than the 10th or the 11th at the latest. So I've been here for like 3 hours, 4 hours now, just waiting for this game to end and waiting for you to stop crying so we could do this show. And it was just this whole ordeal where it's this team, man.
This team.
Part of me is just like, can you be normal? And the other part of me is like, God, why would I want to root for a normal baseball team? That sounds so boring.
Anyone who, was tweeting like, why are these fans so emotional? Why is that guy crying in the stands? This game right here, case in point. That's why.
Yeah, I don't really care what those people think. Like, pound sand.
Yeah, exactly. But also, now you all see. Now you've all gotten the Mariners experience. My brother, who doesn't really watch baseball that much, he was texting me. He was watching the game. And he was like, they're going to do it here. And I'm like, nah. This was like in the 11th or whatever. I'm like, no, that'd be too easy. I was like, this is so predictable. And he's like, how did they not come through there? I'm like, dude, welcome to Mariners baseball. Like, this is why I am the way that I am about this team.
Yeah. By the way, quick little, getting a lot of like fun tweets and like things going around. We saw a bunch of the Husky fans at their homecoming game. After the game ended, they stuck around to sit on the concourse and watch the game. There's a great picture with everybody having their shoe on their head.
Nice.
Because that has to be the thing now, right? And
yeah.
Jerry DiPoto says that at this point they're expecting Brian Wood to be available at some point in the ALCS, so he'll probably be on the roster.
Yes.
Apparently, we got. And Major League Baseball is really pushing this party like it's 1995 thing.
I mean, every single inning in extras, they showed the double.
Yeah, I know. Humpy has tweeted, believe.
Hell yeah, Humpy.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, Humpy. Let's go, Humpy.
Keep it PG. Apparently, Paul Sewald, who did not make the roster but is a member, he stood out on the field to watch the celebration from afar. And it's just like, bring him back. I don't care.
You're going to make me cry. You're going to make me cry again.
Paul, like, I wish Mitch Haniger was here. I wish Marco was here, like, to see this.
Hey, there's going to be opportunities. There's going to be opportunities in game 3 and game 4.
Again, it's not just about, like, I know a lot of people like who are around for the 95 team. They're thinking about that team tonight. And I guess I get the similarities mostly because it was 30 years ago and they won game 5 in extras. Should you compare the two hits? No, absolutely not. They're not They're not remotely similar, but whatever. I get it. But like for me, I'm thinking about the Paul Sewalds and the Mitch Hanigers and the Marco Gonzalez, like the guys who built this thing back in the day to get to this point that are not here anymore because they had to move, to give way to the new and the guys who ultimately have the opportunity to get this team to a place they've never been before and did tonight get them to a place they have not been in 24 years. So I thought it was really cool that, somebody mentioned that about Paul Sewald and just bring him back. I don't care.
We're going to talk more about this game. More just about all of this. Again, this is not going to be a very structured show in just a moment. But first, a reminder, this episode of the Locked On Mariners podcast is brought to you once again by FanDuel. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel is making sure you're ready for kickoff with a can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. FanDuel makes every game more exciting, whether you're watching your team or just keeping an eye on your fantasy lineup. It's quick,
easy and the best way to add a little more energy to Sundays. So, are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet.
And you're listening to the Locked On Mariners podcast. For instant reactions following every Mariners playoff game, be sure to tune in to the Mariners postcast with Anderson Hurst and Christopher Crawford, available on both the Locked On Mariners YouTube and podcast feeds. I am so glad those two guys are going to be busy here over the next few days still, because the Mariners still playing ball. It's October 11th now for me. The Mariners are still playing baseball. That's crazy. That's crazy. The Mariners are in the Final Four, folks. They walk off the Tigers tonight, 3-2 in 15 innings. Crazy. And a massive reason for it. Really, the only reason that matters here for it is this pitching staff was just so good tonight. George Kirby, it all starts with him. It feels like a lifetime ago that he pitched in this game. But
First
he
pitch
was
at 5 o'clock, Ty.
Yeah.
It's almost midnight.
He was so damn good. So good. And the game plan was very obvious. I'm just going to throw a ton of sliders and see if you can hit it.
Mm-hmm.
And for the most part, they didn't.
Yeah, there was at one point the Mariners had thrown like 120 some odd pitches. There was almost 500 pitches thrown in this game between the two teams. But at one point the Mariners had thrown like 120 and they had only thrown 34 fastballs, 4-seam and 2-seam. And when you look at the breakdown here on StatCast, the Mariners threw 209 pitches. Detroit threw 263, so 472 pitches. But anyways, the 209 pitches the Mariners threw, only 14.8% of them were 4-seam fastballs, and only 22.5% of them were sinkers. 49.8% of the pitches the Mariners threw tonight were sliders. Half of the Mariners' pitches that they threw tonight were sliders. Like, that is very clearly a game plan that they all carried throughout this game. For the most part, they all carried. And it worked. Yeah, I mean, in fact, the one time the Tigers got a run, it was on a fastball. So, yeah, just sliders for days from everybody.
Kirby was just fantastic tonight. And then the bullpen. I mean, you get the hiccup from Spire. He gives up the 2-run home run. Thankfully, the Tigers didn't score any more there, because that could have quickly unraveled there. Especially with, how poorly Gabe has pitched the last 2 games. But you keep it at 2-1, and I mean, that Kerry Carpenter home run, that's the last pair of runs the Tigers score all year, because the Mariners just shut it down inning after inning after inning from that point forward. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to go down the line here. Matt Brash, 2 innings pitched, 2 strikeouts, no hits, no walks. Andres Munoz, an inning and a third, had those 2 walks there in the 8th inning when he first came in, and it was like, uh-oh. It also kind of seemed like maybe he was dealing with something. I don't know if he might have been feeling sick again. He's said, when was that? Remember when he had to when they had to bring him out, like some fluids and all that?
I think that was against the A's. But
yeah,
his velo was down almost 3 ticks on all of his pitches. So yeah.
Yeah, he's said in the past that he's dealt with nausea on the mound. Yep. So I don't know if maybe he was dealing with that or something else. Hopefully not something else. Yeah.
After those 2 walks, he looked great.
Yeah, he had a clean 9th inning. Mm-hmm. Logan Gilbert, first time out of the bullpen for him, goes 2 innings, gives up 3 hits, but strikes out a couple, walks 1.
Yeah, on 2 days rest. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, Edward Bizardo, man. This guy is a dog. Like an absolute dog. Like an absolute dog. Like we've said it so many times this year, but my God, he just continues to come through time after time after time. I know game 4 didn't go well for him, but Edward Bizardo is, I mean, again, he's by far, spoiler alert for whenever we get into off-season content and we do like unsung hero, he's the unsung hero. Yep. Breaking news. Yeah.
Not even close.
4 strikeouts.
Honestly.
4 strikeouts, 1 walk, 1 hit for Bizardo. And then the Rock gets it done. He gets the win in this game. An inning and a third for him. He gets a strikeout. Mariners bullpen gave up 5 hits and 3 walks, and that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just side, because this to me is just insane. Matt Brash threw 26 pitches. None of them were fastballs.
Wow.
19 sliders, 7 changeups.
Wow.
Munoz threw 25 pitches, 3 fastballs. Logan Gilbert threw 34 pitches, 4 fastballs.
Yeah.
It was Bizzardo who came in and threw fastballs tonight. He threw 27 of his 39 pitches were sinkers. And the fact that he bounced back, like, I think one thing people don't get is that, like, Bizzardo pitched in every game this series.
Mhm.
So the Tigers had seen him a ton. And the more you see a guy, the more you pick up, the easier he is to hit. So, when you see Gabe Spire for the 4th time in 5 days, you have a really good understanding of the arm slot and where he's coming from and all that. There's no break in between. Bizzardo pitched in all 5 of these games, and he had a really bad game Wednesday. I'm telling you guys, my days, they're all messed up right now. And so for him to come out and give you 2+ innings tonight, and they rode him so hard during the regular season, and they've ridden him hard in this series, and he was not good last time. You're just kind of like, man, I don't know how much more you can ask of this guy. Like, he's got to be on fumes, and he stepped up in a big, big way. So, I mean, Polo, it gets the love. He's the game-winning hit and all that. And Logan on 2 days rest comes in and gives you quality innings, although he definitely looked like he was, on fumes, as you might expect, not really in a great spot to do that, but you got to do what you got to do. Like, there's so many people who, like, get a lot of love, but Bizzardo somehow, again, goes under the radar when you consider what he's had to do in this series and this season for the Mariners. And it was very much a bullpen win for the Mariners, and George on top of that too. And it just, again, it kind of stinks for Spire because he has the one blemish in this game, and he's been so good this year, especially against lefties, and he just made a mistake and it cost him, but he got the next 2 outs on 4 pitches, 2 pitches. So,
and he'll have his opportunities here in the next series to get back on the horse, and you're going to need him. You're going to need him for guys like Addison Barger and Nathan Lucas and Dalton Varsho and all that, if you want to play the matchups with those guys. So I'm still riding with Gabe Spire. That's my guy. And so, I know the last couple of games haven't gone well for him, but he's a dog and he's had a great year. And, I know his teammates have his back too. So, he's going to be a real big piece of this if the Mariners want to get to the World Series and win themselves a championship. But just cannot say enough good things about this Mariners pitching staff and the performance that they had tonight. And I mean, I texted you this thing around the 10th inning that, they were much better set up to handle a long extra innings game than the Tigers were. Now at the time that I texted you that, I kind of forgot about the possibility of like Jack Flaherty coming into this game, which he did. But yeah, it just felt like, because Dan said before the game, like, Bryce would be available, Luis would be available, Logan would be available. And then, at the time that I texted you, Bizzardo hadn't even pitched yet. I felt like the Mariners, like, they were in a much better spot to handle this than they were to handle the 18 inning game. So that part gave me a little bit of confidence, but it also just kind of felt like one swing of the bat was going to do it in one direction or the other. Wound up not really being the case, bases loaded, Jorge hits the single, all that. But, I was just like mentally preparing myself inning after inning after inning for, Kerry Carpenter home run or Gleyber Torres or Spencer Torkelson into the Mariners bullpen or something like that. And it never happened.
I can't believe that we didn't see Emerson Hancock in a high leverage spot. I thought for sure that's where this thing was going. And
inning number 20, Emerson Hancock comes out. Yeah.
I mean, again, we'll see how, like, the Mariners are going to have to announce their playoff roster on Sunday morning. So we won't have to wait long to find out. But man, what would be great is if you didn't need to use Bizzardo on Sunday. You give that guy 2 days off because he's earned them, and then some.
When are these guys going to fly out to Toronto?
I assume tomorrow morning. would be my guess.
I can't be tonight, right?
I mean, they don't have to fly the plane, so like that makes it more likely.
Sure. I guess they could sleep on the plane. I don't know how good their plane is, like how much space they have out in
it would
there.
Have just been so much easier if they just won in Detroit and they could have just taken that easy
Yep.
flight, gotten their couple days off. This team will not do things the easy way.
It's the Mariners. Know that. I think I texted you after game one or during game one or before game one. I don't know. It was sometime around game one. I was like, yeah, they're probably going to win in 5 because that's just, the Mariners. They're probably going to have to beat Scooball twice. And lo and behold.
The Mariners never take the shortcut, take the easy way.
This was the quintessential Mariners game. It's so funny to think about, and I'm so glad that we're in a spot where we can laugh about it immediately after.
I'm so tired, Ty.
Dude, it is 2:36 here right now.
I know, but
I'm going to, dude, the Mariners are going to be playing game 1 of the ALCS in less than 48 hours. I'm going to be at the Rogers Center in less than 48 hours watching them play.
I'm so tired.
That is so it boggles my mind that that's happening so quick because we got to speed run the postseason. So we're gonna wrap this thing up and talk a little bit more about just the craziness of this night before we get out of here. Again, tomorrow we'll have a more structured show for you guys, but for now we're just gonna vibe out.
Are you announcing something for tomorrow?
I said earlier on in the show, we're going to do some sort of ALCS preview. So that's coming your way tomorrow. But yeah, we're going to continue to vibe out here and enjoy this one in just a moment. But first, a reminder, this episode of the Locked On Mariners podcast is brought to you by Rougiette.
Fellas, you've probably heard of Viagra or Cialis. Maybe you've even tried them. But if you're looking for something beyond the usual pill, it's time to meet Rougiette Go Long. This isn't just another ED pill. It's a total game changer for confidence. Go Long combines 2 doctor-trusted medications and 1 dual-action formula, so you can get hard and go the distance. The effects can last up to 36 hours. That's confidence all day, all night, and even into the next day. Ready to level up your confidence in the bedroom? Head to RUGIET.com and use the promo code LOCKEDONMLB for 15% off your first order. That's RUGIET.com, promo code LOCKEDONMLB. Make sure to use our code so they know we sent you.
And you're listening to the Locked On Mariners podcast. We are going to wrap things up here talking about Game 5 of the ALDS. Mariners win 3-2 against the Detroit Tigers to advance to the ALCS for the 4th time in team history, first time since 2001. Crazy. There were so many plays in this game. I mean, there's so much stuff that happened in this game that we probably haven't covered and probably won't cover just because so much has happened. But a couple of other things that I just wanted to quickly mention here, like Cal Raleigh throwing out Colt Keith with just the most perfect throw, perfect tag from JP, like just amazing. It's absolutely beautiful. Like that's big time players making big time plays and big time moments. Huge. Gino throwing out the runner there at home. I think that was McKinstry, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it was McKinstry. Like that play. Polo made a really nice play, like really early on in this game. Just a lot of big plays, a lot of big moments. And again, going back to the bullpen, to this pitching staff in general, like, yeah, you shouldn't, like, the formula isn't winning games in 15 innings, but it is, gritting out games and, just getting a little extra bit out of, every single guy and, some unlikely heroes contributing. Like you're seeing all the factors that come into play for every single team that's ever won a championship, really. Like the Mariners are checking off every single box. I mean, you even think about like the last, week or so of the regular season, like Victor Robles making that catch in Houston and all that. Like it's moments like that ultimately lead to stuff like this, that ultimately lead to going to the ALCS, competing for a championship, all that. And yeah, again, the Mariners are like checking off a lot of those boxes, which makes me very excited. The journey definitely has been something to endure, but I mean, the destination so far has been very much worth it, and I'm hoping that we can have a lot more wins to talk about here. Just need 8 more,
At least
and
8.
you are world champs, and that's a crazy thing to think about. That's a crazy thing to say out loud about the Seattle Mariners, but here we are.
You can't win the 8th one until you win the first one. So that's first up.
Yeah, and it's going to be a huge challenge. And again, we'll talk about that a bit more tomorrow. There's a lot of questions on the Blue Jays side, specifically Bo Bichette. Like, is he going to be able to play in this series? That's a big one there. But we'll worry about that tomorrow. But just again, we've made all the jokes about how this is a very Mariners win and all that. But I mean, this is a very, very impressive win where so much stuff got thrown at the Mariners. So much was placed upon guys' shoulders, like Logan Gilbert, like Edward Bizarro, like Luis Castillo. And again, you needed contributions from Mitch Garver and Leo Rivas. Like, yeah, there's a lot of like negatives we could look at, like all the times that they didn't come through with, a runner 180 feet away from winning this thing and, with no outs and all that. But in the end, I mean, just the fact that they were able to grit this thing out and win this thing is just so damn impressive. And I think it says a lot about this club.
Yeah. I mean, it's grit, and it is some kind of belief system. And this is the type of thing that people have told us Dan Wilson is very good at. And it's been very hard to believe in throughout the course of the season, because this team has been very hit or miss for large chunks of the season. But really, since that game in Atlanta where Julio kind of put the team on his back, this team has lost, I think, 6 games since early September. So like it really is something that is there. It's evident. It's, you worry about at some point they're going to run out of gas. Like they've been playing pretty good ball for so long, and they're playing all these long games, and it's draining. It's emotionally draining. And even with the built-in off days, like there's just back and forth travel and all of it it can gas you pretty quick. But, you figure that this team, do they have enough left in the tank to go and get this thing done? We're going to find out. And the fact that we're at an opportunity where we do get to find out is pretty impressive and pretty cool. And, something to keep in mind. We don't know how long it's going to be before they get this close again.
Yeah.
Think back to that 2022 season, guys. We all thought it was going to happen in the next year, and it didn't.
That's what's had me the most stressed out during this series, is knowing how long the last 2 years have been. We talked about this when they won the division and clinched, their spot in the playoffs and all that. So I don't really need to reiterate it, but like, yeah, that experience of the last 2 years, like, was just constantly in the back of my mind of like, and, and also not to get too far ahead of ourselves here, but like, there's going to be a lot of questions about the future of the immediate future of this team that we're going to have to go over, over the course of the off season. But
we don't have to do it this week.
I was so planning for like Mailbag Monday to be super depressing. Like, I was trying to prepare myself as best as possible for that. The one thing that like kind of helped me out here was like, well, at least it's the weekend. At least I don't have to get on a show tomorrow and like immediately go into off-season mode. So that's nice.
Surprise! You do have to do a show tomorrow though, because the Mariners just keep on winning. But
and I'm happy to do so, and I'm so happy to do so. You keep winning, I'll keep doing these shows.
We might have to take Tuesday off when the Mariners have their off day, because I'm tired. I'm so tired.
I'm not sure what our schedule is going to look like with me going to at least one of these games. Yeah. I'm going to try to go to both. I mean, again, how many times am I going to get to see the Mariners play in the ALCS? So like, I probably should go to both games, even though it's going to be super freaking expensive. But I mean, this is kind of like maybe a once in a lifetime thing. Who knows? Like, who knows when you're going to get back to this point, to your point earlier. So yeah. if
Maybe
you
no
are,
post game show on Sunday.
I don't know. Like, I don't know what my plan is. I might stay with a friend in Toronto, or maybe I'll get a hotel in Toronto. I don't know.
Either way, guys, whether we do a show or not, Chris and Anders will have you covered for the
Yep.
post game of game one. So you guys will get a post game show, and it'll be much more structured than this one. But
this has been a mess.
Yeah, Tyson got to edit this thing down to like 35, 40 minutes. So, again, we'll have a normal preview tomorrow. Maybe we'll have a round table. Maybe it'll just be Ty and I. We'll see. But we'll have a preview tomorrow. We'll talk about who starts game one and how you man it, blah, blah, blah. But tonight, this is just kind of a vibe and just kind of chilling. Much like the Mariners are doing in their clubhouse, I assume still right now, and just kind of, hanging out with you guys. Although if we wanted to do that, we probably should have gone live, but like, whatever, it is what it is. And hey, you guys get at least another week or so of us talking about baseball games that are being played, not what might be played in 2026. And that is a win for everybody. Believe me.
That's right. If you are planning on going to Toronto for the series, for the first 2 games of the series, let us know in the comments. Would love to know who's going to be out there, going to be at the Rogers Center. I figure it might not be as many people as it was for the wild card series, because obviously that series was just condensed to Toronto, and it was the first playoff series in 20 some odd years. So I don't know how many people are going to make the trip, because again, you're going to be able to get to see this series in Seattle for games 3 and games 4 at least, and potentially game 5. But if you're planning on going to Toronto, I'll be there. So hope to see you there. Feel free to say hi if you see me, all that. Let's just have a hell of a time. Like, I mean, at this point, like, you want a playoff series. To me, you're just playing with house money now. And I mean, look, like Cal said, and Colby, I'm going to pull out the dolphin sound for this. I just want to win the whole thing at this point. All right. That is going to do it for us. What a mess of an episode. What a beautiful mess of an episode. That was one of my favorite episodes ever to record, because this is one of my favorite days ever of being a Mariners fan. Like, seriously, they just won one of the biggest games in franchise history. Crazy.
You guys will always remember October 10th as the day that Humpy broke through.
That's right. Let's go, Humpy. Let's go. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Locked On Humpy podcast. For Colby Patnode, I'm Ty Gonzalez. Be sure to give us a follow on Twitter at LO_Mariners. You can follow me at Ty Gonzalez and Colby at CPAT11. That's CPAT11. We're also on Blue Sky. You can follow me at TDG, Colby at MLB Colby, and the show at Locked On Mariners. You can also find us on Instagram at Locked On Mariners. Have yourself a beautiful baseball day, and we'll see you probably tomorrow. Peace.